So one piece or two piece?
Two piece. Okay. It's okay.
No extra piece. Extra.
Yeah. Okay, no more. You call UncleYap ni. Andrea and you are from the Strait Time, right? Both, huh? We are middle hawk. You also. And you have UncleYap. Okay. I think we start. Oh, wait for Limi. Okay, before I start, thank you everyone for coming here. On behalf of the would-be independent team of Tanjong Pagar GRC, I would like to extend our thanks for attending this press conference. But most of all, we want to extend our gratitude and thanks to the supporter and donors of the $68,542, which was raised from them in less than 10 hours through the internet to try to enable us to contest the Tanjong Pagar GRC. Although we have not made it for the contest, for whatever reason, we are indeed very happy to know many Singaporeans really care about what is going on in Singapore and what we really want for Singapore. I am glad to inform them and Singaporeans. It is through their generous support and we are able to see how unfair the political system is, where barriers are stacked very high against the real opposition candidate. Today, we wish to announce that since we are not able to utilize the fund to the cause of contesting the Tanjong Pagar GRC, we have returned $62,850 back to the donor and lender. And after deducing expenses of $2,650 from the remaining $5,692, we have a balance of $3,242, which we have decided to give to the charitable organization of our choice in a week's time. Once again, let us thank our thoughtful and selfless donors who have inspired us through these few days in our cause and hope for a better Singapore. Thank you. God bless you all. Now, if you look at the fund there on the second page, the receipt and return by the 5 independent candidates of Tanjong Pagar GRC. The total loan and donation received was $68,542, less total return and loan and donation, $62,850. We have $5,692, less transport, food and other miscellaneous expenses, $2,650. So the balance is $3,242. that is to be going to the charitable organization. So before I proceed to introduce my other people, Mr. Nazim is here, and Mr. Ping is here, and Mr. Abdullah is there. Limin is not here yet, but Nazim, you want to say something? Ping?
You want me to go ahead?
You go ahead first, okay? You go ahead first.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to this conference. I wish to thank all supporters, well-wishers, for their generosity to allow us for the running of the election in Tanjong Pagar, which was made possible. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, our nomination paper was disqualified. But irrespective of all the odds piled on us, we have tried our utmost to try and make our presence felt in Tanjong Pagar, to make the PAP feel it, that they must heed to the voices of Singaporeans. These are the wishes of Singaporeans as well as our supporters. I hope again through the media, could you please channel to Mr. Koh to enlighten us which hospital or polyclinic that he consulted which charges him $8 for the treatment, which I myself need to be treated. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I pass this to my member,
Yes.
member team, Mr. Nazim.
Mr. Nazim.
My two members, Mr. Teck Siong and Mr. Penny, have spoken. And I wish to add that most thankful and appreciation, gratitude to the supporters that we had on the very last minute, on 11-hour event. The event that we had 2 days prior to nomination day, that we had to abort the contest in Tanjong Pagar due to lack of funds. Then our supporters gave us a call and they wished to support us. We didn't know. They made it happen. It is for our cause and also it's for their cause. We were very disappointed when we couldn't make it by the 35 seconds stated on the media. In fact, it was 5 minutes before time we had submitted the forms. And for that, I think all the chaos and havoc that was created at the nomination center is uncalled for. The election department should improve on it very much so that every contest is contested. And for the statements, I wish to counter some statement that which was made prior to the nomination day, which we had not been supported by our own party members or leaders. They were saying they wanted us to say that they were short of funds. We were short of funds, not them. So we abort the contest on Monday. Then from the supporters, we managed to run all the deposit back. And also I wish to counter also the statement by some political parties saying that it's not for the sake of be there to contest. We are not doing that. We are there for the people. Not just being there to contest. For the purpose of contesting, no. They are wrong to say that. So I wish to defer to their statement. And with the amount that we have from our supporters, I think we managed to even put up more banners in our Tanjong Pagar GRC. More than 50 banners we can manage to put, not only 50. I think we can have about 1,000 and 1,000 of banners for our supporters if we were to be made by some political parties against our team members, and we are Tanjong Pagar independents. We don't represent any political parties. We represent our political cause for the people. It's only for the people, for the supporters. So our cause is very simple. For the people, we wish to serve the people. We have outstanding feedbacks from Tanjong Pagar people, and we are working on it. We, all 5 of us and our supporters, we will actually follow up on the grievances and their complaints that we have gathered through our feedback form. We will directly engage with them and help them directly or indirectly channel them to respective departments, government departments, to assist them. We recognize them. So I think that is where we want to stand. We want to be elected in Parliament. He was considered for the PAB to win over that, but afraid to go over. I really say that. And I wish to thank my supporters, our supporters, for it was a very solemn thing to happen to us, and we put through. Thank you very much.
Yes, in this case, we'll throw to the floor. If any question from the press.
So, can you share with us, on this outpouring of donations that was made to you all? I mean, do you all, what is the reading? What does it signify? Is it because people are generally upset about the incumbent government, or is it some other message that?
The significance is very inspiring for us. We find that Singaporean actually very charitable. Not only that, it was a surprise to me also to find that so many are very supportive to a cause to make a better Singapore for Singaporeans. You see. And this reflects very well that Singaporeans are waking up to what they are supposed to be responsible as a people. In fact, the government is in their hand, not in the political party hand. They can choose whoever want to run the country on their behalf, not the political party can choose. So, in fact, I hope that Singaporeans will wake up that this political power is always in their hand in every general election. And on the 7th, the changes, whether they want to change or not, is in their hand. To vote for more opposition, to become their representative, which is very important. Yes. Next.
You all received 68,542 information, but how come you only returned 62,000?
Those balance after the 16,000, we managed to return 850,004. The balance is still with us. We have not been called, or we need to verify the account holder, where we will transfer back to those who wish to claim. And I did state on the media, our list, the little donation that we received in the account was $7. $7 internet transfer to our account.
The smallest
$7.
The biggest amount was?
The biggest amount in physical loan, it was $20,000.
It was a loan.
It's the highest.
So has the 20?
Yes, it was refunded. The bigger amount all has been funded. Now we are looking into all the little accounts, few thousand, few $50. Now we also managed to see that there's $7 transferred to that account, to the account that our Facebookers was putting in. So we have a $7. There's a name listed on the account, but there's no account number. So we went to the bank to tally it, but the person said not verified. The bank do. Within a week, if any of them wish to claim the balance, they may do so. They may give protection for any of my members. Our members give us a call, and we will refund them.
Would you give a disclosure to the donated the
We can't. They remain the issue anonymous.
But also we received quite a number of SMS. In fact, telling us, the amount of donation they give, go and have a good hot meal.
It was a donation, an amount of $388, and the donor called us, messaged us that have a good meal, a dinner, in the memories of the late JP Jaya.
So the 20K was meant to be a loan, not a donation.
Every of the amount that we receive, because it is a loan. Because unless stated otherwise by the person who has transferred the amount.
So that means the amount that you haven't returned is because you can't track down.
Yes.
Right.
So we have about a week from now before we donate to the charity of our choice.
So are you aware of who are the people who have provided the loans or donations? Are they people of Tanjong Pagar who actually wish to
I think all over Singapore. Or I can say worldwide.
What about, so the 2,650 used for transport, food and expenses, these are donated by the people, is it? This is not?
These are all expenses.
These were donations.
Okay,
Yeah, these were
okay.
donations.
So do you know like how much donations you have gotten? Like from all those people who specifically said that don't return me the money, these are donations?
There was an amount of 6,500
There were donations.
donations to us, but we returned the money to.
Oh, so even though they didn't
To
want
this
it
donor.
back, you all returned
Yes,
it?
you return it to them.
Now what is left is only those who are unclaimed in the account. Those physical loan, protection, training myself, have been refunded on the spot via cash or via bank deposit.
No, but this 2,650, this one you are claiming for yourself to use for transport.
Those are counted.
Those are
These
actually
are
expenses.
donations by our supporters telling us, you may go and have a hot meal on our money. We don't need the money.
So 2,650 are like outright.
Expenses.
In fact, there are more than that, but that is why we have
These are expenses.
this money even to go to charity.
For food, for transport, for
And everything.
these drinks and all other.
To our supporters who is helping out during the 2-3 days, they're helping out. These are being spent on the supporters.
So what is left is $3,242.
Within a week, if we do not receive any claims of this money, we will definitely give this to charity.
How do you verify whether these people who claim that they donated were actually really the ones who donated?
Well, they have an account unless they can prove. Otherwise, the whole of Singapore can claim for the money.
But from what
They must prove.
From what I can see, this amount of 5,000 over, many of them have no intention to reclaim back the money. That's why I discovered when I trace it back, they didn't give their proper name even. Not
All linked names.
So they claim in the form of checks and bank transfers.
Normally, usually
No, they
the most of it is transfer.
from their account to our account.
Via ATM transfer, internet transfer.
You know how many donors we have?
Somewhere around 30 to 40.
I think you got to take note on the $7 which was collected to us. That was very significant to me. Not the amount $3,000, but the $7.
But we had few large donation, like 19,000, 20,000, and 6,005, 5,000. All these few already make up more than 50,000. The rest are all $50, $20, all this. So I don't think these people, they want to get their money back. That's why they don't bother to give their proper names.
And even don't bother for us, give us a feedback whether they want to pay or not.
So this 3,000 definitely, we will wait for 1 more week. If nobody claims, we are going to give it to a charitable organization.
So altogether there were 40 people who sent your money, including the 19,000, 20,000.
Yes, including the 4 to 5 people giving the previous sum.
I have an SMS here from a donor who said he does not need the money of 380 to give him.
That's the one who asked us to
You
coordinate.
have the SMS.
I think
Yes.
we have that.
Yeah, and he called it to you.
Yes. And
There's a
even-
few others also.
There were a few, and even the donors that we have returned the money, they even call us back or SMS back to say, thank you very much, they have received.
They confirm that they
They
received.
confirm they received the money.
Even then, if they did not call us, we have to receive the bank slip that we deposited against their account and name. And also we have a guy who's will get married in 3 weeks' time. His wedding savings, he posted $500 to us.
You return that.
We returned that.
Would you all consider contesting in the next elections then?
Well, for that, we are planning for the next 5 years. If we can move now, we move Tanjong Pagar GRC for the next 2016. Because our donors, our supporters have been calling us, we wait for you in
Many from
2016.
Tanjong Pagar GRC.
And do you all intend to form a party to contest, or are you going to remain as?
We'll discuss that.
We will discuss that later.
What's the status with yourself, Nazim, with SDA and the Socialist?
I myself, an hour before nomination, I put up my resignation to my party, BKMS. At the same time, by default, I'll be out from the CC of SDA. So I am contesting an independent. So I resigned 1 hour before nomination. That was 9:55 AM on the nomination day.
Sorry, there were some questions brought up in the internet. You were saying that, since for nominations, for such an important day, such a nomination day, shouldn't you all have prepared the papers beforehand so as not to miss the deadline for a couple of minutes? What is your response to such
We were there early, 11:25. We have submitted our forms to the officials, but there was some ding dong in between.
What is the legal?
The forms, they want us to refill all the forms, rewrite all the forms.
And the reason is?
The reason is because our supporters, our seconders, was threatened, and he did not turn up.
So we had to redo the whole forms and go over to the commissioner of both counted to redo our vote there and to get it endorsed. Prior to that, there was a deposit counter on the left-hand side, the cashier counter for us to put up the deposit. So we have done all that. They went over to submit the forms 5 minutes before time. Then one of us will be standing by to pay up the deposit to get the receipt to also submit on the returning officer table. So when all this comes about, the announcement was made, but the form is already on the table of the returning officer. So when everybody went over, then it's they did not wish to entertain the form, and it's still disqualified. The announcement was made where everybody was at the returning officer.
So how many seconded failed to turn up?
Yeah.
How many?
One only.
Because of one seconder, they want us to refill the whole stack of forms.
But you had standby.
We had standby, yes.
Yes, we have standby.
Can I check also, you mentioned earlier that you all wanted to appeal to the elections department and consult a lawyer as well. So how is that going?
We are getting advice from the
We are getting advice
lawyers.
from the
So you have already met the lawyer?
Yes.
Lawyers are also one of our centers, and also one of them is also from Tanjong Pagar GRC.
On the grounds of?
Well, they are looking into what would be on the Election Act, so what actually they can appeal on.
So have you officially appealed to the elections department yet?
Not yet.
I think we have 21 days nomination day.
So just to confirm, you say that you all want to appeal on the grounds on the fact that you wanted you all to refill the form today, or?
I think there's few other grounds, few other matters that may arise when we will look for some of the legal things also.
So at that point in time when you submitted your nomination form, like you said, 5 minutes before noon, right? At that point you already paid your election deposit.
We were on the commission of work counter, and on our left is our deposit. So one of them, this one is holding the money. So we got to pay even the form is there. So it's always at the same time we are doing it at the same time. So that is where the announcement came.
Can I answer this question? The thing is that even when I submit the form, the returning officer doesn't even bother to process it. He just hold it on his hand. So how are we going to pay the deposit when nobody even come forward to ask for our payment of deposit? And there was nobody whom we can recognize is from the AG staff, who are supposed to collect the deposit. there was really on the table no destination of any kind.
No information, no direction.
Who is the accountant general cashier down there, and who was actually the real returning officer? You see, but we somehow or other go to the two of them on the behind the table. We submit the form before 5 minutes to 12, and he was holding on to the application. When he said, "Where are all your candidates?" I get his permission to go there and get this candidate just only 10 meters away to come. He gave the permission. When I went there, after that I come back, already declared 35 seconds over time.
Allow me to have a question,
yes.
sir. When you all entered the hall, I was one of them actually, you were given all the candidates' rate name tag, right? So each one of you wears a candidate rate name tag, and your Ascentor's proposal, second, all, and I wear the one other person. So these are all given, right?
Yes, these are all given.
And you are all present at the same time before 12 noon inside the so-called nomination place.
11:30 even.
Yes, and nobody left.
No, we were all inside the nomination center.
Nobody was left behind.
Sorry, Mr. You said that you handed the form and the officer failed to process it. What do you mean by process it? What does it
Process means he had to look through, all the particulars and
He should check the form and
he
check.
just hold on to it. And that returning officer,
I would say this is called a time delay tactics.
the returning officer who handled this form was later on, I discovered he never made even utter a word, a single word, not even a single word. When I questioned him so many times, surprising, he should be the one that is responsible for.
So you handed him the form, then you were moving on to it.
Yes.
You asked for permission to get the rest of your candidates.
Yes, I asked the permission from him. He
How
said,
come you all were separated?
because we were at the commissioner of oath there. You see, and it's funny that the commissioner of oath is quite a distance away. You see, it should be actually, to be proper, that this processing center should set the thing, make it facilitate for the candidate, to process their form. Why must it be so distant away?
In my thinking, they should be more helpful. Instead, they were quite reluctant to help us. UncleYap, shall I say that?
Yes,
They were very reluctant for us to be there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did any officer at any time inform you that they want all of you in front and hand in the form before a certain time, or that you have 1 minute?
There was none at all.
There was none to guide us, even to.
Correct.
As I
to
say, they
be
were
seated,
very reluctant.
at the proper place where we should be seated. There was none at all.
So you were not aware totally that by a certain split-second accurate time, they're going to reject or refuse to process?
Yes, they have not been made known to us.
So this position, you are caught by surprise?
Caught by very surprise. Right on the dot, 12 o'clock, they announced it.
Did you notice whether the election officers were helping any other candidates in
None.
the room, like other parties?
We were asking around, but only our opposition friends and members were assisting us along the way, where are the cases, where are the commission of vote counter, and so on and so forth. So none of the election department officers come and assist us. And we are prone to make mistakes there, you see. No direction, no signage, nothing. And I can only see the toilet signage as well.
So by the time you all were in the nomination hall, all the other people have been processed by the other constituencies that were supposed to be there. So,
Yes.
you specifically asked for help from the officer from the election.
Yes, okay. Firstly, when everybody entered, an officer was there, so I recognized him through his badges. So I asked him, can I have a table and chairs for my group to do some confirmation on the forms and to do everything. On a private table, you can do everything. But No extension was given. He went away, and that's it. So we need a table, a proper place for us to redo everything. Thereafter we submit. So it will take us less time to we have that assistance. So we go everywhere, is it? Going around.
You needed to redo it because you are secretary.
One, second. If not for that piece of name, which is actually absent, we can submit it just
the
there.
one that we have prepared before we go to the center.
At what point were you all asked to review the forms?
At what point when we know that I was
When you first tried to submit forms?
When we noticed that our secretary was not present,
And that was at 11:35.
Yes.
not 11, but he was not there.
But just now you had said that it was the RO who made you refill the form.
We recognize because we know the second is not there, so
not
we
the
have
RO.
to confirm to redo the forms.
So you checked with the officer and
Even it's in the election book, election act, we have to redo the forms.
So it was not the RO who made you refill. It was you
It was
yourself.
in the handbook. It was in the handbook.
Because earlier you said that they made you refill all the forms.
We try our best to meet
we-
all the regulations.
We try to ask them. We just cancel the secondary state and fill it the same term. We have to redo all.
So you were saying that secondary was being threatened.
Yes, was
Yes.
being threatened
By who?
by an anonymous phone call.
What did what was
The
the
night
threat about?
before.
What was the threat about? How did the threat? The person who threatened.
The threat was to tell him if you should not go to the center or you will be arrested.
But he doesn't know who the person who called was.
He was not aware of who called him.
So when did he alert you all that he was threatened?
The next morning 9:30, which we are supposed to pick him up. We had we are running out of time because when our supporters put in the money, we guys got to go to bank, we're going to pick up our Ascentors, our proposals. We will have to run all over for the people to be
Together.
at the center. And some of our supporters even waited for us at the center to hand us some cash. The bank starts at 9 o'clock, 9:30. Without the money, we are unable to go to the nomination center. So we are really short of time.
Sorry, but if the secretary doesn't know who was the person who called, why would she feel that this threat was real rather than
As
just
a normal layman, any threat is treated as a threat, so he'll be very worried and very scared because he's a layman.
He's a working professional.
So those, maybe he's a lawyer, then he'll be alright. He will know how to handle it. For us, we know how to. I mean, we received threats before even nomination day. We had all.
One of our members received threat. His wife received threat. The wife was crying the whole night through, asking him to withdraw from the candidacy.
So those statements were made.
We encourage him on. Mr. Abdullah, you may have to tell them what has happened.
After this morning is around 6:30, my wife called me, he tell me some people will call him. Then he said, better ask your husband not enter the candidate, better backlog. Then I only said to my wife, I want to fight because I believe that God give me the result. Then I also speak all my friends here because I never come. All my friends is very difficult. Then also I said I have to go. Yes, I do.
So you mean this is on the morning of nomination day at
Yes,
6:30
yes.
a.m. Your wife called you. That means you were not at home at that time.
We were together.
That time we
We
were together.
So she said someone called your home and
Yes.
told her to call you.
I think I'll be very detailed with that. Okay. It is a statement where I received before. A fear that you put on me is that if you want to contest Tanjong Pagar GRC against Lee Kuan Yew, definitely you'll be detained under ISD or ISA. You'll be followed by ISD, ISA, ISD, ISA. So this is where the fear comes in, and it is mentioned by those who are actually experienced. So what if that is correct? If they were to quote MMLE were to say that, can I ask MMLE whether it is true? If I were to get it against him, will I be detained under ISD or ISA? And why should I? Am I wrong to contest in an election? Whether it's against Lee Kuan or Lee Kuan Yew or Teo Chee Hean, am I wrong to do that? I'm not. We are Singaporeans, we stand in election. Not because we are fear of ISD or ISA.
But who told you that if you contest against him, you will be detained?
That's the thing. It was contested. Definitely you'll be detained by ISA.
But it was
by
voted
ISD.
by who?
By many people who actually do not want me to contest, do not want everyone to contest.
These were your friends or these were people?
Some friends, some outsiders. They advise us do not contest, you'll be detained by the ISA.
So it's not a threat, but it's a fear.
It's a fear that people. Yeah, I'm very surprised when this statement comes about. I say, how do you got all these statements? See, definitely you will. This is the government, whatever. See, but I say, if it is true, you put me a name, I can always ask him whether it's true. I may ask the government now, is it true? So maybe the government can answer to us.
So that means previously when you said you wanted to stand in writing us under SDA, right, you did receive such threats.
No.
Only when you said you want to go Tanjong Pagar,
Yes.
then you got such threats.
Right. And I was well back until the very last minute, even Dola, Texiong, and all these things.
Who were you held back by?
By this fear, your family will be threatened, your family will be disturbed, your family will be a lot of things.
Sorry, but the
We living in a civilized world.
seconder was being threatened. Who do you suspect was
Civil.
making the threat?
We do not know who can do that. Or what the secondary was not mentioned.
Of course, the seconder called one of us to say he had been threatened. Then we asked for the reason, who and all that. He is not able to name because it was through the phone the threat come from.
How many backups do you all have? Proposal, seconders?
We had a few until the nomination center, we had more.
In fact, on that day we were 10, more than 10.
More than 10
At the nomination
in total,
center.
In
Yeah,
total,
total.
proposal, seconder.
Finally, we realized they were at the nomination center.
So they just turn up.
Yeah,
Just without our knowledge.
And they
They volunteered. They
They
volunteered.
volunteer. They identify
So,
to their
when
ID.
your seconder got threatened at 9:30 in the morning, you were told, did you know by then that you will have a backup seconder?
Yes, you
Or you
realize.
already knew that?
Just that you thought you can go to the center and cancel out the thing. But Mr. Ng, you contested 2 elections before.
Correct.
But how come you're not aware of the procedures and the kind of things you have to do?
The two contests that I have in 1988 and one in 1997 in West Coast. The first one is in Thompson, single seat. We don't need the seconder or the nominee or the Ascentor to go to the nomination center. This is the first time that I feel that we have to bring the Ascentor, the proposer, the what I call seconder to the nomination center.
What was it like back then? Did you need them to sign?
We at that time need them to sign, put the IC and the address only. They don't. All these people no need to go to us to the nomination center. It was much easier, much easier. And I feel that the political what they call general election in Singapore is getting more and more difficult and difficult. The barrier is taking against opposition more and more, and which in the rightful democratic society, a free and fair election shouldn't be conducted in such a manner, especially in a constituency that the politicians there are supposed to be the national leader. He should make, election much easier so that it will reflect very highly on him that our country election was free and fair.
So you keep mentioning about the barriers. I think the deposit is of course one of the barriers that you face. So
Yes, the deposit have been increasing all the time. The second time was 8,000. This time was double to 16,000. Don't you feel that it is keep on stacking higher and higher all the time?
Besides the monetary part, what other barriers do you feel that stand against?
Other barrier is like the by-election. When the Prime Minister got the right not to call for a by-election after MP passed away or resigned his seat of Parliament. And another law is a political party can sack his member of Parliament if he don't close the party line. I thought politicians, especially MP, represent the constituency, the people in that constituency. So he should speak the grievances and the aspiration of the constituency, not representing the party.
Mr. Ng, the previous two elections you contested, were there then have any political donation act that you have to declare?
I think there is, but it's not so strict as today. Also, I got the feeling that it's getting harder and harder to contest in the general election. You see, especially when you really want to speak up.
Were there, when you entered the nomination room, were any other parties present?
Yes, yes.
And what were they doing?
They were sitting at the chair there. You know, they go early.
They were all seated. In fact, they were all seated.
In our case, it was much more difficult. When we announced on Monday, to pull out from the contest in Tanjong Pagar GRC, then we make a statement. Surprisingly, a lot of internet people asked we all not to give up. They will help. So within that period of shorter than 1 day, less than 10 hours, we managed to get the 60,000.
Sorry, who were the other parties who were already seated?
NCWC was there, MSP was there, the PEP of course was there.
And they had already all filed their papers?
Yeah, some of them are still doing it and they managed to do it.
Did you ask them for help when you were lost?
Yeah, we did. We went around to ask for the election department officer, but they weren't to assist us. So we asked around our colleagues, our friends in Workers' Party or NSP, those that we know of. So they give us a talk, so then we move around by ourselves.
So the other parties did
Assist us.
how did they?
They just mentioned time coming, you see. So we just know one step of 5 minutes, so I hand to the returning officer. Still on time. At that moment, still on time. Once the returning officer get the form, there you are, you got to start processing. But he didn't. He just sit down there, very quiet. For the next half an hour, he never uttered a single word, that particular returning officer. I was standing right in front of him, pleading to him, then the other deputy come down and talk to us. Never even tried to record our objection to the walkover.
So what would be considered that the audit procedure has completed? How would you know whether it's completed?
Well, when we submit the form, whether it's completed or not, it's not up to us to decide. I'm sure it's the returning officer to decide. Once the form is submitted, it is there to be processed. Whether it's even over 12 or so, you got to start doing it until finish. Exactly like what we did.
So what was the official reason they gave you when they told you that you had been disqualified?
Time is over.
Time
Time is over.
12
o'clock on the dot.
According to the,
With-
even to the what I call media
Is
clock,
against the
958 is 35 seconds late.
Mr. Ng, did the returning officer call out any of your name? Does it he demand 5 of you in front of him or the proposer or this? I thought if the officer sees so many people, he don't know who is who. He would, let's say, call out Mr. Ng Teck Siong, Mr. So and so. Do you hear any name called? No calling of name.
No calling of name. He just moved to the application form.
And he had time. He had time to call, but
He
no
had
call.
time, but he held on to the form until 12 o'clock on the dot. Then he started to announce it's 12 o'clock and your forms are being rejected. This is what they are trying to do.
So while he was holding on to the form, where were, I mean, like you mentioned that
I was right in front of him.
What about the rest of the people?
We were at the commissioner of oath counter, finishing. Then of course after we
But
will be
finishing
after
what at the counter? Like the other forms, or
they were
what do you have to do
doing
at the
doing the
commissioner?
stamping and so on.
Commissioner of oath need to verify
Verify what? Like
each individual candidate's
I see they have all of our IC confirm name, IC number, address.
Okay, so the timeline is something like this. At 11:25 you came, then you realize you have to refill in your forms. So that delayed. After that, then you submit to the Commissioner of Oath for them to check through. So because you have to refill in the forms, that delayed the checking by the
I think the delay also more is the way direction we should go. We don't know
Can
where-
I have a
what-
fair comment from the audience? That means to say, if we have half an hour's time to fill in 2 forms, what kind of a time span do we really need? Can I have a fair comment?
Sorry, what you
That means to fill in the forms, do we really take half an hour? Do we really need to take half an hour? For
one
officers,
page, front and back.
for officers to check and for us to fill in, do we really need half an hour? We do not need half an hour. As I said earlier, it's a ding-dong game. It's a ding-dong game.
So is it right to say that actually you had submitted the forms was completed? It's just that the oaths were not completed.
Yes, because they were very reluctant to help us. Now, as candidates, we fill in the forms. We'll pass it to the officers. Well, if these officers prepared to help us, they will say, Mr. Texel, this is wrong, that is wrong, every whole thing is wrong. But they just kept quiet the whole thing.
Was there anything wrong with the forms
There
eventually?
was nothing wrong with the forms.
So everything was correct. They didn't say that there was anything wrong with
There was nothing wrong with the forms. It's a ding-dong game. I'm saying it's a ding-dong game.
There was no even reading through by the officer. That's all.
Officers holding onto the
After the
form
form.
should have told us your form is totally wrong. You have no time. Your time is running out, something like that. None. They dig down until 12 o'clock and say, now this is 12 o'clock. You're 35 seconds late.
Was he perhaps waiting for the commissioner of oaths to finish the process in order to complete?
Not necessary. The forms are passed over to the returning officer.
But Mr.
It
Lee
was.
asked permission.
I asked permission to call this other candidate to go to the what they call counter of the returning officer of Tanjong Pagar GRC. Surprisingly, he gave me the permission to call them.
That was before the time
See,
over.
and I walked towards them and called them back. They were walking towards them. They said time over. 35 seconds.
You called them back to what?
To the counter. That's
He
all.
was with the returning officer. We were with the commissioner of both.
So everybody needs to be at the returning officer in order to.
It's there in the
Verify.
same room. There was nobody missing from the returning.
We were all there.
Yeah. It's all
You could see us, all of us, even UncleYap was there. Easily. Why? What is the problem?
If there were proper coordination between the commissioner of oath table and the returning officer, I think they realize among each other. The form is there. I think something is not complete. Can you please complete them? So it's still before 12. It is still before 12. If there were instruction among between the two. So there's none.
So what was incomplete?
Nothing was incomplete. You only need to finish that. We take some call us. We went over to the counter, and by then it's already time over. So when the form is ready on the table,
Actually, the question is,
They refused even to accept it. Right on the dot 12 o'clock. Which is wrong.
when we submit the form already to the returning officer, we are on time already. That counts the most important thing. The processing part is extra time that you have to do. They shouldn't
If
disqualify
a
by
returning
saying the time
officer
that they work.
accepts a form, even after 12, he's got to process in the law, election law. Once he receives the form, he need to process until all finished. He need to process.
Yeah, I just fill in on this. I read this law like 4 to 5 times. The forms in the law states at the nomination place, the form up to 12 o'clock, the returning officer supposed to give you form until 12. That means 11:59 you can go up there ask for a form. They should still give you a form. That means if you ask for a form before 12 noon, you are still supposed to be able
entitled.
Yes.
We are entitled to run for this election, but we were rejected by unforeseen circumstances. We will not mention who.
We got a feeling that who silent down there from the returning officer. When we raise objection, nobody even give us the reason and all this. They just say 35 seconds overtime. If you are going to say that in a football match, the referee, if he is free and fair, he will say there is no foul, so he will not blow the whistle. He say, "Hey, go on." He will say just that.
Thank you very much, UncleYap, for your information.
So the returning officer told you
I
that
hope the media will record what you have said. After 12 o'clock.
the returning officer specifically told you that you were 35 seconds over time.
So he made the
He
announcement.
said 35
Yes.
seconds.
He did not make that down. He was talking to us while we were submitting the completed form after the first form. But himself, everybody was in front of him. He refused to accept that form. And he says, no.
We don't know. They never put their name tag.
His tag only said assistant group returning officer.
No names.
I think we are also very shabbily treated.
So what about the money? You also give it to the returning officer or?
No, they never ask even for the deposit that they collected.
If you bring in cash,
We
you
bring
will
cash,
go to the
more
KG,
than
the cash account,
close to
where it's
100,000.
there for us to get the receipt, then we have paid the deposit. Then after we flip it to the forms together. Even if there isn't any receipt, we can always go there. Once in this process, we can always go back to the cashier and pay the deposit and also submit the forms together.
During
The
my
receipt.
first election time in 1988 and 1999, there was supposed to be a cashier from the AG chamber.
Did you manage to submit the money at all?
It was just beside
We don't know who to pay.
So you did not submit the money? You did
No,
not
we
manage to
didn't
submit
submit the money. Nobody even asked me not to pay anything yet. I'm sure that to be paid after the form has been processed.
So the instruction, the booklet didn't say anything about when you have to pay.
Can we on the nomination day itself? After the
On the
nomination,
nomination day, we can pay.
then we can just pay
According to the guide instruction book.
in cash.
By detention, who you should pay to or how
We're
about?
supposed to be a cashier under the AG.
Under the AG chamber.
So
Under AG.
Accountant general.
if there was
There
a
was
cashier there,
no label on the table who is the person down there.
But there was a cashier.
I noticed on the commissioner of vote table, right beside that is the commissioner, is the cashier counter. If the girl was holding up to receipt. So my presumption is that after we completed, we put up the deposit there, get the receipt. I think Tayshawn was already over to the returning officer. Then we can do all at one time, at one go. So it's just there on time. Everything is there. When we found out that there is a cash counter, everything is there. We find ourselves, not by the assistance of the returning officer or the election department people.
Shall we let at least two numbers from the threatening guys?
What is
What?
The two numbers I have. Shall
Who
we
number?
release the two numbers? One is to our seconders, the other one is to the
The one
girl.
who threatened the secondary or the secondary himself?
Secondary and the ascenders.
I think we do not reveal the secondaries who will be threatened.
We will give you the number of the threatened number, but not our ascenders and our seconders to protect their interests. I can give you the telephone number they received. Because this is an empty number. I tried to call many times. This number was empty.
cannot get through.
Cannot get through. I will give you the number. It's 8251 9685. This is from our Ascentor.
So this is the person who threatened me.
Yes. This another one is 8251 9832. This is to our seconder.
So,
Our seconder received this chip from this number.
What does the threat say?
I beg your pardon?
What does the threat say? What did the threatener say? Was it an SMS or a call?
It's a call.
Okay.
This number was given to me by the Ascentor and the seconder.
so both of them got threatened, but only the seconder.
Seconder, because he told me he apologized to say he's a working professional and he's got 2 old folks to support and wife and 2 young children. That's why he apologized to say that he's not able to help us.
Did the threats, both the threats, come from men?
From men, yes. The second one spoke in Hokkien, he says.
The threat to the second that was in Hokkien.
It ascended to the ascendant in Hokkien.
But he still turned up now.
No.
Ascendant turned up.
Ascentor.
The seconder failed to turn up.
So your Ascentor also received the threat on the morning of nomination day.
Yes.
So
Both
that is
both the Ascentor and the seconders received threats in the morning of nomination day.
Was it at the same
6
time?
something.
Both at the same-
Unfortunately, the time I have not asked first.
Must be on the eve of the election. Because we pull out on Monday, Tuesday is the eve
On
of the election day. So they must be receiving on
You mean
the
nomination day?
Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday.
Eve
Nomination
nomination
day is
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So they must receive on the Tuesday. See?
But you mentioned they received the threats on the morning of nomination.
On the morning.
day.
On the morning,
So it's on
between
Wednesday
the morning of Wednesday, there's an early
On
morning of
Tuesday night,
Wednesday and
this is the time
the
in
evening
between.
of the Tuesday.
So you're not sure what time they
We
had?
don't know.
So
Unfortunately, I did not ask for the time. Yes.
Sometime between the evening
Yeah.
and the morning.
Yeah. Between these 12 hours.
We are sorry we are not able to review to you our secondary because of the interest, due to their, to protect their interests.
Then what are your plans for now?
Oh, what our plan? We have to take a rest. After that, we will consider what next step we should be taking.
Are the 3 of you still with Socialist Party?
Yes, yes. I'm sure we are independent, so we are still socialist.
So you're still members of the party?
Yes,
Still on the CEC?
of course.
So the party agreed
Yes.
that you stand
The
as
party never, the
The
constitution never
the
say
party refused to let us stand in the new party. I have to clarify this.
as Socialist Party?
The Socialist Front refused to let us stand in Tanjong Pagar. That's why we have to stand as independent.
But you're still members of the party?
Yes,
As long as our name is in the registrar, yes.
we are still.
Have they said anything otherwise?
What is that?
Have they said anything about your membership when they found out that
Well, the Secretary General say if you can stand, you will be expelled.
But he has not.
No.
Let's wait and see.
I think the constitution didn't allow that. It's very clear. Because we did not stand in any party platform. We are independent. See? And the constitution didn't state anything about independent as an independent candidate in the general election. We are not the problem member there. See.
What you meant is the party's constitution does not allow for him to expel the three of you for standing as independent.
Yes.
That's what you meant. Okay.
Well, the constitution didn't say that we are not allowed to stand as an independent. And it's an irony when the party not allowing their party to stand in the election and put so many conditions. See, and a political party, if you are not going to contest in the election, then is that a political party?
If that's the case, then why are you still staying with Socialist Party?
Of course, we want to solve the problem. We want to solve the problem. And we hope to give you the reason why we are not standing under our Socialist Front ticket.
What were the reasons that they gave you when they said that you should not be standing at Tanjong Pagar? What were the reasons for you standing in?
That we will try to find out later on. See, very soon. Any other question? If not, we call the press conference to an end.
What are the charitable organizations that you are thinking of donating to?
Well, if the on is large enough, probably we go for mercy relief.
Mercy Relief or another one more charitable organization.
Anyway, we can find the Tanjong Pagar GRC, maybe old folks, old care homes, probably we give them.
But the amount is small, so we are not looking for many organizations to do. Maybe one or two is enough.
And we're looking for the donors and the one who give us the loan or donors to come forward. If they wish to pay, please give us a call and we will be able to refund it.
Right,
But this will be 1 week.
What?
We'll hold the money back for 1 week.
1 week.
1 week, after 1 week.
From now till next Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're saying this balance of 3,242, right? The sums range from $7 to $50.
Yes.
But then if there were only 40 people who donated money in all, right? Then wouldn't the sums have to be bigger? Because even if you
No,
do
we
not-
have donors of 20,000.
The bigger one we have already
20,000, 15,000,
90,000, 5,000, 5,000,
even
6,000,
10,000.
So asking about the 3,200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are
but
from
people
the-
even 2,001,
the one $500, $100, $50.
a few 2,001. So the small amount one is very little.
Numbers of donors amounting to this balance are those little amounts of $500.
So you mean the 40 donors are the people who donated this 3,242?
No.
Or is
We
it
are not
40?
saying
It's the
exactly is 40. Maybe it's more than 40.
Which up to round up to 68,542 in total.
But the amounts that make up 3,240 range from $7.
$7 to maybe $50 or $100 one. Yeah. See, these are people who are, I'm sure, not trying to claim back. You see, that's why they are not giving their name. But anyway, those who still want to claim within this week, we welcome them.
They must prove that. They must prove
They
that
must let us know their account
they are
number.
the donors.
Then we can check,
Because all account numbers are intact with the amount they send into us, our account. So we will just check the account and the figure. Must tell it.
So do you know how many accounts this money came from?
We know
After
that.
We have identified.
They are identified.
Oh, so do you know the number, like, did this money come from 10 different accounts or
Yeah,
maybe
from all
11
different accounts.
different accounts?
Different account.
We can't actually give the exact number of accounts which are to report 3,000 being more than 10.
But we already verified all the donation, each one of them. We have identified. there's no question about not doing it.
Unless those anonymous.
What we will have trouble if it would be physically banked in through the ATM machine. Like for example, the ATM banking machine, right? They also tell you insert your ATM card or your passport. You have a cash in hand. You just deposit to take some account, just without entering any of your account number, because you just put in the money to the account, so that we cannot verify whose money is there unless the person came out and released a receipt that I did make the deposit physically through my ATM, but then again it's not transfer, it's just a physical deposit. So it's two different sets of that can be ATR, that means ATM transfer, ITR means internet transfer, and physical banking. Physical banking through the counter, you have a receipt, the deposit take, but those physical banking through the ATM teller, you can't actually do it unless you go on with the receipt. They actually do a physical banking cash.
So all this can be printed out in our account, in our passbook. So they come in one item at a time.
I hope you people understand that we will be returning this money, but not to some fake donors. That's why they have to prove themselves.
We will check it out very carefully.
Has there been any fake donors who have come forward to try and claim any of the money?
So far,
nothing.
as
So far,
far as we know,
That's why it was verified and
because every account got the name and the numbers in the account.
Okay, I'll just clarify. So how many donors and lenders do you have in total to make up the 68,000?
I think to be exact, it's more than 40 people. More than. That's it.
Do you have the exact number?
No, so if you want to count the exact number, we've got to go through them. See?
So
I
how
think
many
more than-
people, how many accounts have you refunded back out of these more than 40 people?
I think more than 20 over. More than 20.
So you've kind of like refunded about half the people who donated to
No,
you.
she's about
But 95%
This small amount that we have balance is in
Yeah, that's in
some
terms of the amount, but in terms of the number
but
of
the
people.
number is
number of people.
like the 20,000, 19,000, 6,000, 5,000, 5,000. They are the big one. So less than 10 people out of this. That is
so ladies.
So, any other question besides this account? Okay, thank you for coming here today. We call the press conference to a close. Thank you.
we directly held that
The charges are 所以建议是他也建议我们应该可以啊，你find the我们善于的用力，我们会你们知道吗？这个马丁哦，开销啊，新加坡是有钱的人才有法律的保护，法律是面前的那边是。